Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about a gay pride parade, which was kind of an interesting event in Moscow, very political. And we'll be reading a little bit about what happened, discussing vocabulary, and of course, discussing our own opinions on the matter. If you guys have questions or comments on this class, let me know on Facebook, and I'll put my Facebook name over there in the chat box for you. I also do plenty of one-on-one private tutoring sessions, and if you're interested in that, you can go to my profile on Verbling, which I can also link to you in the chat box. And while I'm at it, I will also link you the notes. You can download these. So this first one is the notes for class. Rafael, welcome to class.
Hi, Michaela.
Hey, how are you? It's been a while.
It's been a while. And firstly, congratulations.
On what?
Don't you know? Today, Teacher's Day.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. I totally forgot today was Teacher's Day. You're the first one to congratulate me. You're very kind. So, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm just doing the basic. Staying home studying, preparing for some tests. Nothing special.
No special tests? Just plain old tests?
Some tests, some to my job, and
Ooh.
another things I have to study. And there's a lot of things I have to study. I have a lot of books here waiting for me, but I'm still, and it's not so much time to do it, so it's a rush.
Bummer. I hate tests.
I think everyone hates it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's not like candy or anything. Like, tests are stressful for everyone.
And several professors say that they don't prove anything because you might fail the test, but are a good professional. Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, I never do very well on tests, and so I always justify it. I'm like, they're not really judging my ability. They don't know what they're talking about. Because
Yes,
I really get really anxious during tests, and I think it's hard to focus when part of my brain is like in panic mode. Part of my brain is like, oh my god, 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 oh my god. So
yes,
hard to focus.
and I hate tests. Basically, afterwards, when you finish the test and you just left the room, and, oh my God, I bombed the test. It was awful.
Yes,
And then,
yes,
when then,
it's hard.
and it's a relief when you realize you passed. But there is that tension, and we are, and the days we have to wait until the results come.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
I feel like they should make it instant results so you don't have to wait for a couple days just like thinking, oh my gosh, I probably failed. This is so bad. I'm so dumb. Why did I do this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good luck with that. Today we'll get a little distraction in for you. We're going to be talking a little bit about a gay pride parade that was crushed by police in Moscow. And I linked, the first link in the chat box is the notes. And while you load those up, we'll do a little warm up with some conversation questions. Have you ever been involved in a rally, a protest, or a parade? What do you think, Rafael?
Well, there was a series of protests here last year, maybe in the month of June and July, and they happened exactly where I was working. in the downtown. So I was kind of forced to join the protest because they were taking place exactly when I left the job. So and the streets were so crowded, we don't have anywhere to go. So I took part of this protest, but just as a viewer, I haven't took place directly into the protest. Just listen. Yeah.
What was the conflict happening? You live in Rio, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the conflict in Rio?
This is a hard question because there's a lot of reasons involved. People asking for almost everything, almost better conditions, better life conditions, better work, better transport, healthy services, education, security. So all these things mixed. That's what the reason of the protests.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So it wasn't just one thing, it was a large number of causes.
Yes.
Was it violent at all?
Uh, no, there were some few spots of violence, but not the whole. Because if the whole crowd would be intended to become violent, I don't think there was so much left over in the downtown because they would destruct everything.
Wow, so there were that many people?
Yes, around 5,000, 500,000 people, generally.
I was outside of Brazil when all those protests were happening, and it was it was weird for me because I got some information through news, of course, but I'm sure there was a lot of information that did not come out of Brazil, like information that people here had that wasn't international news. But it seems like there were a lot of protests. I know that I heard a little bit about the protests in Sao Paulo, which were more based on like bus prices, like the ticket prices, I think, and other various things as well. But there were lots of protests. Even in Belo Horizonte, I heard there were protests. It was kind of a conflicted winter for Brazil.
Yes, yes, it's a kind of, and it's so kind of ironic, but I don't believe this protest had some effect. What happened after, because we are electing the same government, and I think nothing will change. So
True. The elections just passed. How do you feel about election times?
same as always, teacher. Nothing changes. Just the same people. They talk about democracy and the power have and people have the power to change the destiny and everything, but we don't have choices. And they are not the same. They made coalitions. They are always ruling the the country, and I don't think they will have democracy here.
Interesting. So there's still a ways to go as far as making things a fair and just political system in Brazil.
Yes, I believe regardless of the character, regardless of the president of the government, uh,
Hmm.
the way of governing, of ruling the country, their coalitions will stay the same. So I don't think it will be effective.
Yeah, it's difficult. Brazilian politics is super, super complex, so I, of course, do not understand a lot of it. But I do think that it's a really difficult position and that a lot of Brazilians describe feeling the same as what you just said, which is that they feel like all politicians are corrupt, so there's like no point. And then, but it's difficult because how do you get out? Like, what's the escape? If all politicians are corrupt,
I don't
then what do
believe
you do?
I don't believe all politicians are corrupt, but unfortunately, a little percentage of them aren't. So they have to go along with the majority because they don't have power to change the status quo here.
Hmm. Yeah, go against the
Go
current
against the
and
flow,
change
yes.
stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, coming back to the topic of class a little more, is there a large gay community in Rio?
Yes, I believe there's so many.
There's
They
like just a special beach for them, right? Or like for gay people, isn't it? Posto Oito, is that right?
Yes, yeah, I think it's a
Posto.
Copacabana beach. There are reunion, there are yearly reunion there, the a parade. They so gays come out from every place of the country and they reunite there just to
Wow.
celebrate. And
Is it a particular time of year or all year?
uh, I think it's the whole year, but this special parade it takes place at least once a year. I don't think when I don't know when they schedule this parade, but it's not only here. I think these parades take place in every city, even São Paulo or Belo Horizonte or other states, I believe. I think there are simultaneous parades, so it's a national council.
All right. And Andrew, welcome to class.
Hi.
Hey there. So I put the notes. The notes are the first link in the chat box, and I'm also going to screen share them for you guys. And we're just going over some warm-up questions, and the one that Rafael just answered is talking about if there is a large gay community in the town where you live. So tell us a little bit. Is there a large gay community where you live?
Uh, I I've never, I think no.
So you think no, but you're not sure.
I'm not sure because it is hard to detect them among the other people.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that where you live is a gay-friendly city?
Uh, I think my country is not gay friendly.
Interesting. And why do you think it's not so gay-friendly?
Why? Maybe because there are just a few of them.
Got it. Okay. So we can get into reading a little bit about what happened in this event, and then we'll talk about some of the vocabulary as well as some of the politics of it. Rafael, will you read the first two paragraphs?
Uh, Gay rights activists have tried to hold a parade in Moscow for the sixth year in a row, but dozens of people were arrested after the activists clashed with counter-protesters. Russian officials have detained three global gay rights leaders and dozens of others after they tried to hold an unauthorized rally near the Kremlin. Police say a small crowd of marchers, some waving rainbow flags and others carrying signs that read, "Russia is not Iran," was attacked by an ultra-Orthodox group who had successfully lobbied the Moscow city government to ban the event.
Thank you very much. And Andrew, will you read the next two?
Okay. The leader of Russian Orthodox Union, Leonid Simonovich, said people should not be allowed to hold a gay pride parade. He said God once burned the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, and if something like homosexuality was condoned in Russia, God would burn down Moscow as well. He referred to the Russian capital as a holy city. Witnesses say police aggressively arrested the marchers, protesters, and members of the ultra-nationalist group. before putting them in police vans. Many rights activists had hoped they would be able to hold a gay rights parade after former mayor Yuri Lutchkov was fired. Lutchkov had linked homosexuality to the devil. Russia decriminalized homosexuality in 1993, and homophobic attitudes remain. In October, the European Court of Human Rights fined Russia for banning homosexual parades in Moscow. Officials say that most of the detained people have been released.
Thanks. Okay, so let's do a couple comprehension questions before we go on to talk about the vocabulary. Number 1 is a true or false. This is not the first time a gay rally has been stopped in Moscow.
It is true.
True. All right. How about number 2? According to the article, who was responsible for getting the rally banned?
The government?
Uh-huh. Anything more specific?
The leader of Russian Union.
The what?
The leader of Russians Orthodox Union.
Yeah, exactly.
How to pronounce that? Orthodox?
Orthodox.
Orthodox.
Mm-hmm.
Orthodox.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, Raphael, it's a true or false. Leonid Simonovich is a global gay rights leader. This one is in paragraph number 3.
He is false.
Yeah, so who is that? Who is Leonid Simonovich?
He is the leader of Russian Orthodox Union.
Yeah, so definitely not an activist for gay rights. Number 4, this could be for anyone. Why did many activists hope a parade would be successful this year?
Because the former mayor Yuri Lutchkov was fired.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the last one is a true or false. Homosexuality is still a crime in Russia. Any ideas, guys?
I don't think it is a crime, but it is to be banned.
Okay, so what is banned?
So it is not people not allowed to organize this kind of parade.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember what year they said that it was decriminalized?
No, 1993.
Yeah, in 1993 it was decriminalized. But they still can't have parades. Okay. So
I live in Russia, by the way.
Huh?
I live in Russia, by the way.
Oh, perfect. So this is a pretty good topic for you. You can talk a little bit more about exactly what the politics seem like now, because this article was from 2011. It's very possible that things have changed a little bit since then, or you can provide us with some current information. Okay. Let's talk about the vocabulary, but before we talk more about all of this politics and discussion, we have a list of vocabulary words here. The first one is activist. Let's have Rafael describe what an activist is.
It's a supporter of the movement.
Definitely a supporter. What kind of supporter? What makes an activist different from another supporter?
Because I think he deals directly with the movement, and he is in the front of the battle, I think.
Yeah, definitely. A very enthusiastic supporter for sure. All right. The next one, clash. Andrew, can you give us that one, what clash means? And you can check out the example we have earlier in the text. Andrew, are you there? You're muted.
Yes, I was talking being muted.
I do that all the time. I hate when I do
Yeah.
that.
This word means kind of fight, but it is not actually fight. It is just one group of people against other people.
Mm-hmm. Good
I,
explanation. So, like a conflict, maybe.
yes, conflict.
All right. The next word, detain, being used as a verb. Rafael, describe it for us, and you can check out the example here.
Detain. To, I don't want to say to catch, but to withdraw. No, not withdraw. To withheld or.
Mm-hmm.
To arrest.
Yes, to arrest. Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of that can fit into the definition. Awesome. Next word, unauthorized. Andrew.
It is not authorized.
Yeah. All right. So what would it mean if something is unauthorized? What does that mean in other words?
It doesn't have a right,
Mm-hmm.
permission.
Yeah,
Forbidden.
It is
no
not permitted.
permission. Forbidden.
Forbidden.
Great. Lobby, Rafael, as a verb.
To convince.
Mm-hmm. Convincing is definitely part of it. So in the sentence it says, an ultra-Orthodox group who had successfully lobbied in the Moscow city. So in this case it could be convinced, but what if they unsuccessfully lobbied? Then what would it be?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
So in the case when lobbying is successful, we can use convince as a synonym, but what if lobbying is unsuccessful? They unsuccessfully convinced doesn't make much sense. So if it were unsuccessful, what's a different synonym we could use? Any ideas, Andrew?
No, I don't know what it means.
Okay, so convince is a really good synonym if it's successful. If it's unsuccessful, you might say promote. So they unsuccessfully promoted something, and that would be a little more clear that it didn't work very well. So promote would be another synonym you could use if it were successful or unsuccessful. Any questions on the word lobby before we go on?
No.
It is not clear.
Okay. All right. We'll use it a little more in a later exercise. So if you still have questions, it's all right. The next word we have is condone. Andrew, this one's for you.
To accept.
Mm-hmm. Good Good synonym. Anything else you want to add to that definition? Or Raphael, anything you want to add to the definition except?
No, I don't have.
That's a pretty good one. You could also say forgive or overlook. These are some other synonyms we could use. The next one we have is aggressively. Raphael? They aggressively arrested the marchers. So what was it like? Are you there, Raphael?
With rage or with yes, something.
With rage. Good. All right. Andrew? Likened. They likened homosexuality to the devil.
They compare or they say it is like the devil.
Perfect. Compare. Great. Raphael, decriminalize.
To become to make not be criminal again or make put in the law or considering the law, I think.
All right. And the last one we have here is fined. They fined Russia for banning homosexual parades.
It makes somebody to pay for what they done, what they have done.
Exactly. All right. Any other questions on these vocabulary words right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then let's do a few sentences with them. In next exercise, there are some words that you have to combine into one sentence. So you guys are going to use two words to make one sentence. And the first one we have is activist and clashed. That one will be for Andrew. The next one is police and detain. And that one's for Raphael. So we'll do the first set orally. You can make a sentence and then read it to me. And then the next sentence we're going to write in the chat box. So Andrew, whenever you're ready with your sentence using activist and clashed, you can go ahead and say it for us.
The activists clashed against the police.
Perfect. I love it. And Raphael, are you ready with the next one, police and detain?
Police. The police detained the activists. I don't have a great answer.
That's good enough. They detained the activists. Kind of relates to our article. All right. The next set we're going to write in the chat box, and I'll give you guys a little more time. So Andrew, your set is unauthorized and area. And Raphael, your set is lobby and church. So these ones you're going to write in the chat box. And if you guys have questions while you're writing, you can definitely let me know. All right, Andrew, I see your sentence, but I don't see the word area. Did you mean to say the construction area was unauthorized?
I wanted to write the construction was in unauthorized area.
Got it. Was in an unauthorized area. Okay, good one. Thanks, Andrew. And Andrew, if you're ready for another one, write condone and violence. A sentence using condone and violence in the chat box.
Okay.
All right. The gay rights movement has to go against a massive lobby of the church over the authorities. Interesting. I love the ideas. I'm a little confused about exactly the meaning. So let's see. The gay rights movement has to go against a massive lobby of the church over the authorities. So what's going over the authorities? The gay movement also?
No, the lobby.
I see. Oh, I see. Okay. So I'm going to make a couple small changes and resubmit it into the chat box for you. And in the meantime, you can get started on a sentence using drive and aggressively and put that in the chat box.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
With the verb condone, which preposition I should use?
Well, condone takes an object, so you don't have to use a preposition unless you want to switch. So you can say like, I condone her action, or you can add an object right onto it without a preposition. Unless you want to add in more information, in which case you might need to use a preposition, but it would depend on what exactly you wanted to add on.
Or with my sentence.
Okay, let's check it out. The people condoned upcoming violence. Okay, that's a good sentence in itself. It's a little bit weird because usually people do not condone violence, but I guess maybe if they were like a really aggressive warrior people, they would condone the violence.
Yes, I know, but it is only sentence which came to my mind.
Good enough. Maybe we're talking about like the Amazonian warrior tribe of, a few hundred years ago. That would work. And
So there is no preposition.
no, not if you want to add just a normal object right onto it. No preposition is necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
One more for me.
Oh, yeah. Do life, lichen, journey.
Okay.
And I resubmitted Raphael's sentence, and I deleted that last part about over the authorities because if we want to add on that information, it would probably be better to include an extra sentence because it kind of complicates the situation. And I see another sentence from Raphael. My sister lost her driving's license due to aggressive behavior behind the wheel. Ooh, bummer. Okay, couple small changes here. First of all, it would be driver's license and aggressive behavior, not aggressively behavior. So use an adjective, not an adverb there, but other than that, it's a great sentence. Thanks, Raphael. And your next sentence, Raphael, is decriminalize and marijuana, another kind of risky or scandalous political topic. All right. I can liken my life to a wonderful journey. I like that. You're missing an article. You need a wonderful journey, but other than that, it's good. Thanks, Andrew. And the next one we have, there's a huge campaign to decriminalize marijuana in my country. Is that true, Rafael?
Yes, yes, it's true.
Interesting. I've heard a little bit about it, but I think it's unlikely to happen in the near future.
Really?
I don't know. I've heard that I kind of feel like because Brazil's a very religious country, that it's pretty unlikely to be something that's on the table in the near future. It's also a really big country, and I think because it's so big that actually it's harder to make progressive changes. So in a country like Uruguay, which we already saw legalized marijuana, it's a much smaller country, so I think making big progressive changes is easier for a smaller group of people versus a larger group of people. That's just my take, but we'll see. Who knows? We have one more sentence to do, and you both can try this one. This one is fine and $500. Should be pretty simple. I like your use of bucks. I've never been fined 500 bucks. That's good, Andrew. Have you ever gotten a driving ticket or anything like that where you did have to pay a fine?
Pardon? What do you mean?
I mean, like, have you ever paid a fine, like, for speeding or for parking in the wrong area or something like
Yes.
that?
Maybe I've been fined 3 times in my life.
All for driving issues or for other stuff?
Yes, yes, for driving issues. Uh, the most uh, the most worst fine was for crossing the road in forbidden place.
Wow, really? They fined you for crossing the road? Wait, were you a pedestrian or were you a car?
I, yeah, I was driving a car.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
So,
admit that I myself have gotten a couple of fines for once for speeding and once for not stopping at a stop sign. So I'm
uh,
not innocent myself. And
yeah,
our
nobody is.
last sentence. Yeah, I guess that's true. Our last sentence here. A $500 fine is too much for me. I'd rather not even think about it. Yes. $500 would be quite a bit to pay in a fine. I don't think I've ever paid that much. I think 300 was the one I got for not stopping at a stop sign, and that was pretty bad. I thought it was pretty bad anyways. Okay. We've got one more phrase that we haven't talked about yet, and it is in a row. The meaning is in a series or set without in a row, sorry. In a series or set without interruption or consecutively. The football team won 6 games in a row, and police shot at protesters for the second night in a row. So earlier I said in a row, which is more like a British expression, but this is different. This is in a row, which is an American expression. And we're going to write a couple sentences as well as fill in the blank here for this short sentence. Okay, so the first one is I have blank for 3 nights in a row. Is there anything you guys have done for 3 nights in a row?
I have been drinking for 3 nights
Drinking
in a
what?
row.
Vodka, tea.
Some beverage, alcoholic beverage.
All right. You know, it requires a lot of stamina to drink 3 nights in a row. I can only do 1, maybe 2 before I'm like just totally sick. All right, and the next one, this one will be for Rafael. I don't like to blank for more than 2 days in a row. What do you not like to do for 2 days in a row?
Uh, I don't like to wear the same clothes for more than 2 days in a row.
Yeah, good one. All right. So we're going to do a little debate now, and I think this is really interesting. And of course, you guys are very respectful guys, but definitely you're both entitled to, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And so we're going to do some friendly debate, hopefully not getting too serious about a very political topic. So your country is planning to pass a law to allow same-sex marriage. You're against the idea. Think of reasons to support your argument for 1 minute. So we'll do this all together as a class. What are some reasons that a person might give for not supporting the same-sex marriage law? So right now we're thinking of reasons any person in general can make an argument against allowing same-sex marriage. Let's start with Rafael. Can you think of anything?
I don't know if these people have a child in the future, adopt a child, and which kind of education will they teach to this child?
Good point. Okay, so childhood education or kind of a unique family system. And Andrew, can you give us another reason why a person might not support same-sex marriage?
This kind of marriage doesn't make sense because people could not produce a baby.
Okay, true. So in that sense, we might say that it doesn't make sense to marry. Are there any other reasons that you guys can think of that a person might give for not wanting same-sex marriage or not allowing it? No? I'm surprised no one went for religion. That's one I hear frequently. All right. Then let's try the next one. Your country is planning to pass a law to allow same-sex marriage. You support this idea. You believe gay people should have the right of marriage. Think of reasons to support your argument for a minute. Start the conversation when you're ready. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So now I'll start with Andrew this time. We're doing the opposite, and we're thinking of reasons that a person might support this law for same-sex marriage. Why might a person support it?
Well, kind of difficult.
It's totally okay if you want to take a second to think. Rafael, how about for you? Why might a person support this measure?
I think people have the right to do what they will. They have freedom to choose their lifestyle and their choices. And
okay, freedom to choose a lifestyle. That's a good enough reason. Anything else you can add to our list, Andrew, or are you just stuck on this one?
I'm stuck.
All right. So then let's go down. Do you think there are jobs that homosexuals should not be allowed to do? Consider these jobs. And then discuss your opinions with a partner. So again, this is a very political topic, but we're all going to be very polite, and everyone is allowed to think whatever they want. And I'll start with Andrew for this one since you didn't answer the last one. Andrew, are there any jobs you think that a homosexual person should not be allowed to do?
Teaching, I think it should be forbidden for them.
All right, why?
Because they don't have traditional point of view, and so they can have influence on on the children who are not able to make their own decision, but they will see him or her and learn something which they shouldn't learn.
All right. Raphael, what do you think? Are there any jobs in that list that you think a homosexual person should not be allowed to do?
Priest.
Oh, a priest. Okay. And why not?
Because I don't think it's going. It's not going along with the amendments of church. It's not according with the laws of the church. So I don't think they will be the right kind of people to do this job, I think.
Definitely, most religions have some strict policies on that kind of stuff, so it is kind of a difficult conflict when your religion doesn't agree with your sexuality. I think that would be a difficult thing to overcome for sure. All right, now we have some discussion questions. So number 1, have you ever worked with a gay person? If so, was it a problem? And this one is very specific. Have either of you ever worked with a gay person? And what was your experience? Was it a friendly person, or did you not have a good experience? Or have neither of you worked with a gay person?
Maybe I worked, but I didn't know it. Actually, I've never met any gay person in person, I mean.
Interesting. So, as far as you know, you've never met someone. Do you suspect that maybe there are people, but they're not very open about it?
Yes, I think sometimes if we can say that people that the person behaves like a girl, maybe he tends to be the one, but we don't know actually if he or she is gay.
True. All right. Raphael, anything to add here? Have you ever known a gay person or worked with a gay person, and what were they like?
Yes, I've worked with gay persons, I think, all my life, all my career. And they were friendly. I haven't had problems with them. And we have always worked in a respectful environment. We didn't have issues because I think one of the first reasons that we did have problems is that they admitted they were gay. So I think everyone starts looking to them with a different point of view, since they admitted they were gay, and we didn't have problems with them. I had lots of gay friends, and we talked with no problems, with no issues.
Okay, so the biggest issue comes about when they try to be open, and then their conflict occurs when they try to be open about their sexuality. All right. Let's skip to number 3, which I think is a pretty interesting conversation point. Number 3, Sigmund Freud believed that normal people have homosexual tendencies. This means that everyone is gay to a degree. What do you think of this idea? We'll go opposite order. Raphael, what do you think about this? You think everyone could be a little bit gay or gay to a certain degree, and then other people have more and less, or is it kind of a black and white topic?
I don't think it's a black-white topic because I believe with Freud in his studies, and we have different faculties in our brain. Yes, I believe we are at least a minimum. I think we have, in different degrees, we have different ways of thinking and ways of see things in life. We have
Mhm.
different tendencies, as Freud explained. Uh, I think it all depends on which tendency will dominate your mindset, I
Mhm.
believe.
That makes sense. And Andrew, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you think that lots of normal people have some homosexual tendencies, but just certain people have more than others, or do you think it's black and white? It is or it isn't?
Uh, I think it is kind of true because I can see people they like do something maybe man is not to do the man doesn't like to do maybe yes it, I think this attitude is kind of already research or what yes I don't know how to explain but yes it could be the truth.
All right. And the last one we're going to talk about is number 5, nature versus nurture. This is an argument that has um, come a long, long way. Lots of people have talked about this for hundreds of years, and we still don't know. But we're going to talk about it once more today. So, is homosexuality a result of a person's environment and surroundings, or of his biology and genetics? Andrew, go first and tell us what you think or suspect, or any ideas you have on this topic.
Okay. I think it is more about person's environment and surroundings. So it depends in which conditions human being is growing, who mostly are around him, girls or boys, and preference, maybe toys which a child uses.
All
So
right. And Raphael, do you agree that it's mostly surroundings, or do you think that there are a lot of different ways, or any other ideas about this?
I believe there is a full set of different reasons for a person to become to have this behavior. Actually, I had a friend who had a gay friend, and he told me he just became gay because he went against his father because his father didn't like gay people, and I think his father punished him due to every different behavior of uh, every active every act he did, everything he has done, really that might give an idea that he was gay. His father didn't accept, and there was a huge repression against him. So I think he developed a sense uh, of rage, or not rage, but a sense of revolt against his father, and he taught me that that's one of the main reasons he had became gay. Teacher, oh,
the
she's
teacher disappeared.
oh my god, I haven't noticed she left the room.
Yeah, she has.
Sorry about that, Rafael. I heard most of your response and then something weird happened. And I got kicked out. But I heard most of your response before something crazy happened. So, did you have any last thoughts or comments or questions before we wrap up today?
No, actually no.
All right. Well,
Thanks.
thanks for coming, and I loved to hear your opinion. We had some good discussion, although usually these discussion classes are more interesting with more students. But next time, we'll have more. So
Okay.
I'll see you around, and I have some more classes coming up later in the day if you're interested. See ya.
Okay, see you. Bye.